I'll say a couple things and I'll answer your questions. But look, they had two of their better players out. So let's not do like triple backflips. I mean, but what I liked was we really guarded the ball pretty good. For a team that's not been together long, uh, for a team that has practiced with five guys for probably 2 weeks, we played against GAs. To be able to go out and do, we only had 3 turnovers at half. We had 10 in the second half. How the hell do you have 10 in the second half? And a bunch of them came in a stretch where, like, for no reason. Why would you do that? We even had our quarterback throw the interception and run down the field and say stuff to the wide receiver so everybody knew it was his fault, not mine. We had one of those today. Like, what? It's your fault. You threw the ball. Don't blame him. So there were things. Rebounding. I know we don't have Jonas, so maybe that cures some of the stuff. But I had to tell a couple guys, if you don't rebound and come up with balls, I can't play you. This league is a man's league. And if you're getting shoved around or they're outworking you for balls, then I got to play somebody else. Z showed some stuff, but he still has work to do. I mean, there are times you look at him and say, geez, he's ridiculous. And then other times you're like, what? Why is he standing straight up and down? Why? And then he cramped up because he's never worked that hard. Like that he made some shots. I got a good group of young people. I do. Nelly hadn't practiced and he looked good. Nelly's going to play because he fights. He's a battler. He's going to play. Our guards are pretty good, both of them. I mean, they're good players. And you want to talk about what they did offensively. I want to talk about what they did defensively. And again, they got two guys out. So don't, this isn't, I'm looking at this different than maybe everybody else. I'm happy we played the way. Did we look organized? Did we look like we really tried to play hard and defend? We've only been together a short time. So I'm happy because I wanted people to leave and say that was fun to watch. Missed so many threes. What if we had made 3 or 4 more threes? Now you're playing defense. You're creating fouls the way we play, a downhill running team. But they're, we got to wait. We got to get Jonas back. We got to Adu. He does stuff that like he's like a unicorn. He really is. And I said to him, you make a jumper or two, make a couple make a free throw, 2 passes, and you're like the best player in the country because you physically can do stuff normal players cannot do. So we got to get him healthy. He hadn't practiced for a while. Got to get Nelly healthy. TB hadn't practiced for a while. So, but I'm glad we were able to look somewhat organized and look like we played hard and seemed as though the kids had fun. I want them to enjoy playing. The fans, unbelievable crowd. Folks, it was an exhibition game. Now, the money went to charity. So you have Children's Hospital here. We did a thing for Care Source at Springdale High School today, packed gym, all about mental health. And our kids were there, and that's the kind of stuff I like, where we're getting into communities, adding value. The program is more than just about playing basketball. It's about doing things to add value to our state. Questions?
How happy were you with the spacing tonight? It felt like that played a big part in the downhill drives, empty lanes, and 28 free throws as a result.
Yeah, we've been working on at times bringing people away from the basket, which opens the lane up, and you can do that when your 7'2" guy can make threes. You don't play him, we throw it to him, he makes a three. You do play him, we get to the rim. So, he gives us that. We didn't get to play him last year. They almost didn't let him in school. When we finally got him in, we had 10 games. He never really was practicing. This is the first time you're really getting a chance to see him.
DJ Wagner, he makes his first 2 threes. I know you were really high on him with his work this offseason. Just how good was it to see this kind of offensive performance? I know it's early, but
No, it
building
was
on
good.
that.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, he missed a shot. Boogie gave him a three and he missed it and he stepped on the line. So we came out of a time. I ran a play to make him shoot another ball. See, that's the stuff you when you're coaching, you got to get them to battle themselves. In other words, you miss one, now show me you're going to make the next one. Like that one didn't affect this one, and now you're 0 for 5 and we lose. You miss one wide open, so what? Make the next two. But you can't be afraid to miss the next one or two. And I did. I said they're going to go off a dribble handoff. They're going to go underneath you, and you shoot that ball. And they did. And they missed. But that's okay. It's what you're trying to teach and learn.
Said Kansas would not face a better backcourt, 3 guards, Boogie Fland, DJ Wagner, and Nelly Davis, than what they faced tonight. As good as those guys were offensively, especially Fland and Wagner,
Nelly did
defense
some
was
really
disruptive.
good defensively and came up with balls and was where he was. He was a veteran and he's tough. And he can make a three. Now he tried to do some other stuff. He had 3 turnovers. You don't need to do that. But I said to the guys after, I've got to help define 2 or 3 of these guys. Here's how you're going to play, and you're going to look like a star. Or you can fight me, and I'm not going to play you. I mean, and I didn't, Nelly, I'm telling them, he's got to play guys because he'll fight. He'll battle.
As good as y'all were shooting from the field in the first half, but the free throw line all night long, really good there. And then winning the turnovers, points off turnovers in transition. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that was it all because of our defense. And look, if you can't guard the ball, you can't play good defense. You got to be able to play the ball. And we can with DJ, with Boogie, even Billy can play the ball. Adu can play the ball and keep people in front, which is all we're trying to do. And they're good. They have great motion. That ball moves and people move and they're flying around. But the biggest thing that hurt us is second chance points. And there were a bunch of them. And it was 2 or 3 guys that just, you either get that ball or I'm putting somebody else in. You ready? A box out drill. No, you get it or he gets it. And if he gets it, I'm putting somebody else in. And then you fight. You come up with those balls.
Juwan Harris was just in here and told us he thought that Boogie may have been better defensively than he was offensively. Would you
because
agree
he's
with that
a
assessment?
basketball player, and everybody in that building wants to talk about what he did offensively. But a coach or a basketball player, I was both. I was small, but I was slow. But yes, and a friend of mine from New York City was here and said, I've been watching him for 3 years, and I've never seen him guard that way. So when he went and told Boogie that, what did Boogie say? Yeah, you know. But he doesn't understand. It separates him. So play good. There were a couple immature things he did. But look, we haven't been together that long. We got a film session tomorrow, some stretching, some different things. Sunday, Monday, off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, travel down to Dallas and play another really good team in TCU. So we'll see. But look, for our fans and all that, I'm really happy. To see them there. I'll tell you what, the university did a good job, the athletic department, with the bands, the light shows. That was a good thing. I walked out and I'm like, what in the world is going on here? So, I mean, the camp out for the students, the introductions, just because we didn't do a madness, we didn't have time. We did that for camp out, that madness, and they got to see a basketball game. So, anything else?
Yeah, obviously a lot of the conversation's been around DJ and Boogie. Just how have you seen those 2 guys, build that chemistry to have, the night that they had tonight together?
Because they respect each other. They both respect each other. It's the only way that works.
She faced Kansas a lot, and Bill said, this, and it's an exhibition, but he said he thinks this team tonight's better than some of your Kentucky teams, some of your good Kentucky teams, and most of them were pretty good. What are your thoughts on Bill saying
Very
that?
early to make that statement. very early to make that statement. And yeah, I had these teams and I had some teams in the middle, and you know, I had all of it. Where will this thing play out? All I know is when you have really good guards, you usually have a really good team. But we also have a 7-2. We have an all conference in Jonas. You got to I mean, we got some guys, and now it's, which people, the normal comment is, how are you getting all these really good players to play together? You demand it. You demand a lot, you get a lot. If you accept mediocrity, that's what you get every time. And if you demand that we're going to do this together, like Boogie took 15 shots, DJ took 15, 14. And don't you think they should take more than some other guys on the team? Yeah, they should. But they didn't take 25 or 30. They didn't. They took 14, 15, and some of them were daggers. Making free throws made me feel good, but can I just tell you, if the right guys are shooting your free throws, you'll make free throws. The wrong guy shoots it, he's 0 for 2, plugging it or bank missing it. Yeah. So the right guy shot him tonight.
It's an exhibition game, but you obviously got a big cheer when you came out, and it was a big
Haven't
win
lost a
over number one
game.
team.
No question. They're all just.
Well, I'm just wondering what it was like. This was your first game to coach at the team in the arena. Just wondering what that was like for you and having it go so well.
I've
overall.
had that ovation in this building one time when I got thrown out of that game. That's the kind of ovation I had when I walked in. They were so happy when I got thrown out.
You won the game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Cal.
Yes.
In your media day press conference, you were talking about putting kids first and that kind of being, you know, your ideal for your whole career. And you said, you know, I'm not going to change, and I don't think I could change if I wanted to. And I just wondered if now, like starting over one more time, is there anything that you have identified that you do want to change about in any way about this?
Here's what I would say. I want to help 25 to 30 more families, and then I'll go into the sunset and be happy. When I went from the business of basketball to the business of helping families, everything became easier, and we won a whole lot more games. But I did it with a lot of young guys. In this environment, you can't do it with. We started 5 freshmen, and we're in the Final Four. Now, that'll be the last time it ever happens because they're 25-year-old kids playing now. That team was average age was 18 and something. Okay, that was Julius Randle, James Young, the twins. I mean, that was 5 freshmen started, and we ended up. It took us a while. It took us a while to get going, but when we got going, we went. You can't do that anymore. First of all, if you're getting them that are good enough, you can't afford them. Or you can afford one. Just the way the environment is. Second thing is the other guy got 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds. You can't have a team of all young players. You look at this team. Adu, Z, and DJ are seasoned. They're older now, okay? Nelly, Jonas are older, and they're legitimate players. They can play. And then you got Boogie, Billy, and Carter. Boogie's a little bit advanced, but Carter and Billy did some good stuff tonight too. So you gotta, my thing is 4, maybe 5 freshmen, but 4, a couple returners, a couple transfers, and there we go. Let's go again next year. So my guess right now is we're going to sign 3 or 4 freshmen who are all good enough to help us. But they need help. So that's, when you ask me, that's what I would tell you. And the other team, the national championship team that I coached, had a couple freshmen, 3, and then a couple upperclassmen. But the upperclassmen were 2 sophomores and a senior. So that was that team. The other team that won 38 straight games, bunch of freshmen and some returning players. So The issue becomes injuries. And I already told you what I did. I hired GAs that could play. One kid wanted to be here so bad. He played in South America last year. Yeah, I have a knee problem right now. Well, then you can't be here. How are you going to play with a knee problem? I need you to do the drills, to fight, we have injuries. And that's what's happened. So we got a 6'7", a 6'11", and a 6'4", 225 in a guard. Kind of like the women do. You know, they have a team of guys that come in and play, but I couldn't do that. What am I going to get walk-ons or managers or what? No, these guys played professionally. So we go against them. Now, you know, certain things they can't do, but got lucky. Just, I guessed. Does that answer your question? I'm going to be about the kids. And if you want to say, you know, I want to play winning basketball. And if we guard, you'll beat the teams you're supposed to. And then there's going to come a point where you can't go 6 for 24. You got to go 10 for 24. Because you know why? They're not going to go 4 for 24. They're probably going to go 8 or 9. So you're going to have to make shots. You know, and if anybody's saying they have the formula, I've done this a long time in a lot of different ways. But here's what I would tell you. If you make it about the kids and then you play to them, here's what I'm saying. Well, it's more about my way of playing and my system. I wouldn't let Boogie take pull-ups because everybody says you either got to shoot a 3 or a layup. You know what? I grabbed him on the court and said, aren't you happy you're here? I'm letting you do what you do well, your mid-level game. You see him, you're like, that's so simple and easy. So I don't know, shooting more 3s, shooting less 3s. I don't know. Pressing, in all my years, there was not a pressing team that could advance to the Final Four. Well, there was one. Las Vegas, and they could have played 10 different ways and won. Tark had them. They were vicious. But the rest, you're going to had a coach that you're not going to press them. You're not beating him, pressing them. And they're going to be in great shape. And all of a sudden, you're wearing yourself out. So there's no one way of doing this. Analytically, we look at the analytics. I look at shot spectrum. I want to know where we're taking our shots from. I'd like us to take, like we did today, 24, I'd say 25 to 33s a game. We get 60. You notice we got to the foul line. So we can get to the foul line 25 times a game. Those take off shot attempts, but they're free points. So I'm just a coach that doesn't know much and just knows when I get a team together, how can I get this group to be good together and how can I help the players? Instead of changing them, maybe we got to play a little different. How about that? Well, no, because you got to shoot layups or 3s. Really? I mean, teaching a floater, which we've done. You see Maxey, you see Quickly. You see guys that added that part to their game. You're not supposed to shoot those. Well, I teach it. And my 7'2" guy shouldn't shoot 3s, I guess. I don't know. Anything else for me?
I guess having said all that, having, college basketball getting older, I mean, how important is it for someone like John L to actually see your system in live action and see how you coach on the sideline after playing so much college basketball?
You know what else it's important for him to see? When you're playing against really good players, you got to make some adjustments too. But I told him today, every open shot you have, you better shoot. I don't care if they go in. You have to shoot. This team wants you to shoot the ball. But he made some crazy plays. He didn't need to. I mean, he'll get easy baskets. He's going to make open shots. He can be creative and step back and do those kind of things. And but the biggest thing I like He's tough and will fight. If a fight breaks out, believe me, he's not moonwalking. He's standing right there. Might be in the middle of it. Hopefully he didn't start it, but yes. That it? Thanks, folks. Hope you enjoyed.